Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another Hammer Productions night. Tonight, I will be reviewing The Brides of Dracula, released in 1960. Directed by Terence Fisher, from a script by Jimmy Sangster, Peter Bryan, and Edward Percy. Starring Peter Cushing, Yvonne Monlaur, David Peel, Martita Hunt, Freda Jackson, Miles Malleson, Henry Oscar, Mona Washbourne, Andree Melly, Fred Johnson, Michael Ripper, and Marie Devereux. Now, this is the first of the Hammer Productions Dracula series that does not feature Christopher Lee's Dracula. This is the second in the series, and for whatever reason, Christopher Lee chose not to reprise his role. So the title is kind of null and void. The brides in this, which there are brides, they're brides to the Baron Meinster. So I guess the title, The Brides of Meinster or The Brides of the Baron, doesn't have the same ring as The Brides of Dracula. So, well, I guess you can't blame them for that, I guess. But this film features Peter Cushing returning to the role of Dr. Von Helsing, and he is incredible in this film. Even though, just like Horror of Dracula, he does not appear in this film till probably around the 31-minute mark. Before that, you were introduced, similar to how it was in Horror of Dracula, you were introduced to other characters prior to this. Although, unlike in the original, how you had Harker, in this one you have Yvonne Monlaur's Marianne in here. And she is a really cool character. I like her. But throughout the film, she makes some of the stupidest decisions. This feels like a slasher film based on the stupid decisions that this girl makes throughout this film. And it's a shame because I really like the actress. I think she's a fine actress. But making her look so stupid time and time again. The worst, though, is when David Peel's Baron Meinster shows up at her school and proposes to marry her. And she accepts. She's known the guy for like 5 minutes. And she's had a terrible ordeal on top of it when she met this guy. And yet she immediately accepts his marriage proposal. Strange. But once Peter Cushing does show up in this film, he comes to the rescue of Yvonne Monlaur. And man, the only issue I have with Van Helsing in this one is he's less competent, in my opinion, than he was in Horror of Dracula. In Horror of Dracula, he basically knew what he was doing, and it showed, because when he went after a vampire and staked them and killed them, he did not fail in going and pursuing that person and doing that. He knew what he was doing, and he got the job done. In this film, he fails to catch one bride when she rises from her grave, even though he waited there for her. And then he follows her and proceeds to lose her. And then another bride ends up attacking Yvonne Monlaur when her friend Gina is turned into a vampire. And again he loses this one. Fails to stop her. The only one that he actually gets to stop in this film is David Peel's Baron Meinster near the end. And I will admit, it is an interesting way of stopping a vampire and bringing it into their reign of terror, with the windmill turning it to where it is a cross. But David Peel's Baron Meinster is a lackluster replacement for Dracula. Now, I like his sequences when he is this seductive, normal acting guy. And he's, he's demure, he's great, he speaks eloquently. And you could totally enjoy seeing this film where he is like that all the way through, and you never really see him trying to become like Christopher Lee's more animalistic monster portrayal. Because when he goes into that kind of acting, David Peel is horrible. He is horrible when he is in monster mode and when he's baring his fangs and trying to look scary. He just looks goofy in this film, unfortunately. But his mother character in here, Martita Hunt playing the Baroness, is very, very well played. She does such a great job in her portrayal. Now, I'm not going to give so much credit to Freda Jackson's Greta. She starts off okay, but then she goes completely ballistic by the end of this film and is just cackling and just laughing like a maniacal nut, and it's kind of annoying, to be honest. Not really a fan of that performance in there. Andree and Melly playing Gina is very good in here. And when she gets turned into a vampire, she is excellent there as well. So her performance all around the board is great. 3 other kind of off-the-wall performances in this, but they work. They're not like the Freda Jackson one. And that is Miles Melleson's doctor character. He is sort of a comic relief, fun character in here, and I really did kind of like him in here in his performance in here. And then you have Michael Ripper as the coachman early in this film, and he tries to keep his face covered through most of this, but you can see him and you know who it is just by his voice, just by the way he talks and everything. But he did a great job in his performance in here. Then you have Henry Oscar as Herr Lang. And this character is so comical as far as how he can be tough with a character. He's tough with Dr. Von Helsing until Von Helsing hands him a card, and then he becomes his best friend. He does the same thing with Baron Meinster when he shows up. He acts like, oh, wow, you're a hussy girl hanging around with this young guy and everything. And then all of a sudden, whenever he finds out that it's Baron Meinster, he ends up changing his tune completely. And it is just so goofy, but at the same time fun. And I like Mona Washbourne as Frau Lang as well, and she has a moment in there early when Marianne first meets her. She has a line to one of her students in the school, and it is priceless.
Christina, you'll catch a fly in that mouth if you don't shut it, dear.
But overall, I think Terence Fisher does an excellent job directing this one. As I said, I don't think David Peel is as good as he could have been if he would have been just left as just being the seductive character and didn't try to be Christopher Lee in those menacing moments. Those moments should have been played as more seductive and charming and not baring his fangs and trying to look menacing, because he just looks goofy when he does that. So, my final review of Brides of Dracula. I am going to give this film a 8.9 out of 10. This is a great follow-up to Horror of Dracula. The only thing that would have made this one excellent would have been if they would have had the return of Dracula instead of this barren character. Like I said, if they would have changed him up and made him a little bit different than Christopher Lee, I think this would have worked a lot better for me in that respect. But what do you guys think of Brides of Dracula? But what do you guys think of the Brides of Dracula? Do you agree with my review? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. As a Dark Knight Fan Plus member, you have access to an area on the channel right now where you can vote for a movie, TV series, or ranking video of your choosing. And when that goes up, it goes up for all Plus members to view prior to it going up for all other members. So, if you want to get interactive, now is your chance, because it's not a one-time thing. I will keep doing this. Well, that's it for another Hammer Productions night. If you missed last week's Hammer Productions night, check out the link up here to get caught up on that one. Or if you missed any of the other Hammer Productions night, be sure and check out the playlist right here to get caught up on any of them that you have missed.